Hi, I'm Sam Tolbert from Sound of Joy Music Services, and I help to instruct church musicians to find that gospel sound in their piano playing and in the organ. In reviewing my videos from the past, I noticed there was one video that has the highest viewer count, over 200,000 views, and it dealt with how to gospelize a melody line. There were quite a few responses, and in my era, I was creating so many videos 11 years ago, I did not pay attention to the comments that were being posted and the concerns on the speed in which I was showing the demonstration. So I am now going to do how to gospelize a melody line number 2. Let's get after it. Now we're going to be in the key of C because that's the key I used, minus all of the extra additional software and better keyboard and sounding than I have now. All right. I start every video now with the scale because that is the framework to where you're going to find your chords to gospelize. And I'm going to promise you I will take my time on this video and give you my complete look at taking any melody and applying a gospel sound to it. Now, the gospel approach, as I've done in one of my earlier series this year, is a combination of jazz progressions played with a format of inspiration by the musician. So it is not something that a beginner musician who hasn't found their niche yet or their sound can just immediately jump into. But I want to help to give you that path. Now I chose for the test song, Mary Had a Little Lamb, and then we did it in the key of C. Now I always challenge musicians when they take instruction from me to play a scale and then play the melody line of Mary Had a Little Lamb. Because if you do understand how your scales sound, you will know where the first note of that song starts into. And the melody must ride above all your chords until you get so comfortable that you can play above the melody. So for those who have not ever had a formal instructional course or session with me, the third note of the scale is where Mary Had a Little Lamb starts. There's your third note, and now what happens in this case is that I have not just the melody, but every lyric note in that melody. That becomes important when playing in the gospel music style, because that's how you're going to recognize the changing of the lyrics from a melody standpoint. So the bass chords, which is what is taught in Piano 101, is you have your root, which is C. Now you can go to the 5, but I do a 7th on the 5. Right? G7, and now you can stay in the 5 or go to the 1 if you want to. It just makes a difference. And you can go to the 2, which is the D minor, to the 5, which is the 7th, and back to the root, which is the 1. Now I'm really taking my time with this because this is the most viewed video on my site since 2000, 11 years ago, 2000, I can't even count that far back, 2012. So now that you've got that first initial look at it, let's begin to stretch out those chords. Now, I believe in the choir format when you're doing chords, because that's where you can now build upon that gospel sound. Choir talks to gospel, which means soprano, alto, tenor. If you listen to the voices, the highest note or the melody is your highest note. Your corresponding tone note is a third down, 1, 2, 3 down, and then your last note, which gives you that whole chord. Now, the Nashville chord system, for those who are embedded in the number system, I'm still getting comfortable with that concept in my approach to instructing musicians. So the Nashville system has you do the 1, the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they say 1, but I say octave 8 if you're not back here in the root. That gives you your building spot for doing gospelized chords, which are built on the Nashville number system. So let's go Nashville number system with our chords. Let me see. Now, I did cheat there a little bit. I threw a 7th in it, which is not in the traditional Nashville chords, but as you can see, you can take away and you can add to. Now, when we look at, as I say, a fuller sense of these chords, here's when you begin to navigate down that gospelized path. And we're going to use the Nashville chords because I'm conscious of those musicians who I may be speeding past, because I make mostly tailor my lessons to musicians who have 5 to 10 years of experience already. So in using the Nashville system and beginning to give that gospel flavor to it, you're going to now do a little bit of rhythmic playing. 1, Now, what changed there? I gave a little more emphasis and dragging out the note on the melody. I'm going to throw in a rhythm pattern, which I didn't have back in my original video. This pattern gives me an actual tempo, which will help with understanding the path of this. Now, let me just catch it. All right, that's a good tempo right there. To really get it to understand how the gospelizing of a melody happens using the Nashville system. Here we go. One more time. More chords. So now, I'll keep that beat, getting me a little happy now. So that beat really helps to give you a pattern in which to practice. Let's give you some straight chords. I said 3-part harmony. Now we're going to add bass on the bottom. now I'm beginning to add the elements of the stride of the jazz turnarounds. Another example. Turn. When you get into that actual beat, it tends to draw you into musically wise. But as you can see, the melody is still at the top. I'm giving that 3-part harmony. I'm giving that bass at the bottom. Now you've got a full chord, and we really haven't delved into the whole aspect of the song. One more time. A seventh diminished, seventh, so that beat again helps you in your discovering what other chords can you apply with it. Let me just turn that beat up. I'm getting a little happy on here on Mary Had a Little Lamb. So still, the melody's at the top. I'm holding my chords right here in the middle for a reason, because I want you to, as you're beginning to understand the concept of a gospelized song, I'm reaching from the past of musicians I've heard play other gospel songs and jazz musicians. So you can see me now, right there, chromatic chords. The drop 2. Just knowing the range of chords I have. The 7th chords, which you hear me talk to, the 7th chord, melody at the top. The diminished walk up, which is prominent in gospel music, diminished chord. This is a concept of the, or breakout, or stretched of the, or extension I should say. I'm finding the right words for my new musicians. An extension of this chord, it's just extending it out. Let's see. All but the F is in there. And resolved here to the 7th. Then back to our root chord. Walk it down. We're going to give you this minor 6, because this is all part of the gospel sound. There it is. Trying to find the scale. A lit 2. And we're going to go to that. We'll go to a straight A rather than the A minor, A major. Because from there we're going to go to our diminished chord. Melody at the top. His fleece. Right as snow. So the concept that I've been using for my entire musician life is that I want to be able to hear how many paths musically can I take with this song. If I was going to go in a classical way, well, we're not talking about classical, we're doing gospel. But this is how you can apply to any song the different path. So let's go back to our beat, and we're going to add, again, for our learning musicians, some additional chords that will give that gospel approach. Let's, we'll keep the same tempo, because this is a good learning speed for you. Now, Gospel music is all about, let me find that. There we go. Gospel music is all about feel. And by feel is you're going to be experimenting with different approaches to the same song. Let's go a little higher. There's a change. So now I've just extended my range and availability of tones to fit the same melody. Well, higher. Change the tone, melody at the top, in octaves. Now you hear that bass at the bottom, that bass drum? I'm following what's happening there, my chords. Now I'm adding jazz, the minor tones, in the same melody around the chord. For my advanced musicians. All I'm doing is walking chords around the melody. Here's so now I am building a bridge between each lyric note. Slow it down. Minor 6, 7 of the 5, diminish, walk it down, walk it down, walk it down, walk it down, walk it down. Back to my beginner musicians, get this walk down. Change. Back to the 6th one. Walk it down to the 6th, to the 2, 5, 1. And all that is now building around the chords. Change. So now I am continuing to draw in the different jazz feels that help to give that expression in your playing. Still with the melody. Still in the melody. Expansion, extension, continuing to build out, learning all the chords. Let me slow that down because you can see I'm getting happy with Mary Had a Little Lamb. These chords are all found within the spectrum of where you build your chords from.